Hi everyone, I'm Carl. Welcome back to the Renko Trading channel. Before we start, this content is for educational and experimental purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. Today, I want to talk about how I use Renko charts as a long-term investor. I'm more of a mid to long-term investor. I like holding positions for months or years, and Renko helps me simplify those decisions. By filtering out the noise, I can focus on the bigger picture trends and adjust my positions with more confidence. The first thing I always do is look at the broader market. Here, I've pulled up the S&P 500 index and switched it to a Renko chart using the default ATR 14 setting. For long-term analysis, I like to zoom out to the 3-year view. That gives me a solid sense of how the market is moving. When we look at this chart, we can clearly see the correction that happened from late January 2025 to early April. After that, though, the trend started to shift. Since April, the S&P 500 has been forming higher lows and higher highs, showing steady upward momentum. There's been a small pullback recently, just a minor correction, but overall, the trend still looks healthy and pointed upward. This simple view helps me set the right mindset. Before I even look at individual stocks, I want to understand what the broader market is doing. That way, I can decide whether to stay invested, scale back, or look for new opportunities, all based on the long-term trend filtered through Renko. Now, you might ask, why do I spend time looking at the broader trend first? It's because the overall market direction gives me the context for every decision I make. If the S&P 500 is in a strong uptrend, most stocks will naturally follow that momentum. It's like swimming with the current. But if the market is correcting or starting to roll over, even strong individual names can get pulled down temporarily. So by understanding the bigger picture first, I can make smarter choices when I look at individual stocks. For example, if I see that the market trend is still healthy, I might be more comfortable adding to positions during a short-term pullback. But if the market trend looks weak, I'll probably be more cautious, maybe hold off on buying or even take some profits. This step helps me stay aligned with the overall market rhythm instead of reacting to short-term price swings. Once I have a sense of how the broader market is trending, the next step is to look at my individual stocks. For example, let's say I'm analyzing Amazon. I'll switch to the Renko chart for Amazon and start by drawing trend lines. Trend lines help me see the overall direction, and they also highlight support and resistance levels, areas where the price tends to react. From there, I can make better decisions on whether to hold, trim, or add to my position. Now, another thing I often do is ask ChatGPT to analyze the chart for me. I'll upload the Renko chart and use a simple prompt like, "Analyze the daily Renko chart of Amazon. The brick size is about $5. Summarize the trend direction and any noticeable patterns." After a few seconds, ChatGPT 5 will give me its analysis, often pointing out things that I might have overlooked. Sometimes it confirms my view, other times, it gives me a fresh perspective. Either way, comparing its feedback with my own analysis helps me make more confident decisions when adjusting positions. Once I've confirmed the broader market trend and analyzed the stock's Renko trend lines, I also use the Commodity Channel Index, or CCI, to detect potential early reversals. Here in the Amazon Renko chart, you can see that while price is still forming higher highs, the CCI is showing lower highs. That's a divergence. This tells me momentum might be weakening and a correction could be coming soon. But since the main Renko trend is still intact, I may not make a major position change yet, maybe just tighten my stop or watch more closely. As the Amazon uptrend continues, price keeps making higher highs, and the Renko pattern still shows an intact uptrend of higher highs and higher lows. But notice when it reaches around the 240 level, price starts to reverse. Meanwhile, the CCI has been making lower highs for a while. That divergence now confirms that momentum has weakened, and the correction is significant. This is where I'd start reducing my position size or locking in profits, instead of waiting for a full reversal. So this is how I approach my investments using Renko charts. I start with the S&P 500 Renko chart to understand the broader market trend, whether strength is building or starting to fade. Then, I review my individual holdings. I analyze each stock's Renko trend, draw trend lines, and sometimes ask ChatGPT to analyze the charts too. It's a great way to double-check my interpretation and make sure I'm not missing anything. I also use the commodity channel index to spot divergences or early signs of a potential reversal. I keep things simple, stay focused on long-term trends, and avoid reacting to daily noise. For me, that's the best way to invest with confidence and clarity. That's a wrap on today's breakdown. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, give it a like and hit subscribe for more Renko trading insights. Don't forget the bell icon, and I'll see you in the next one.